The transformation never came. Not for lack of love, not for lack of courage. It simply didn't work. The night Edward Cullen bit Bella Swan's neck, her body reacted with fever, then with calm, then with nothing. No change, no lost heartbeat, no eye-opening red. Just Bella, human, awake, lucid, unchanging. "Am I dead?" she whispered. "No," Carlyle responded in disbelief, watching her vitals. "You're not dead, but you're not normal either." Days passed, then weeks. Bella didn't eat, didn't sleep, but didn't fade. Her skin stayed warm, her heart beat, not stronger, but with eternal rhythm, constant, without fatigue. And her blood, Carlyle analyzed it. Alice tried to see her, Jasper tried to feel her, no one could. "You're not a vampire," Edward told her one afternoon, softly, as if the world might overhear. "But you're not human either, not like before." "Then what am I?" "Like something that's never existed." Over time, one word began to form on everyone's lips: immortal, but not like them. Bella aged, but didn't. Her skin remained smooth, her hair unchanged, her eyes retained that haunting depth. She didn't eat, but wasn't hungry, didn't sleep, but dreamed. And most of all, she was still warm, human, yet eternal. Esme wrapped her in blankets whenever she stayed still too long, as if trying to fool the body that no longer needed warmth. Rosalie watched her with a mixture of pity and fascination. Jasper kept his distance, too intense, too alive. And Edward looked at her every day like it was the last. Because unlike him, Bella still walked the line between life and death. She wasn't untouchable, just inexplicably stable. Soon, the rumors began. News of a human who didn't die, who lived with vampires without becoming one of them. And then the whisper: her blood is different. The first to arrive were nomads, watchers. Then a small Balkan clan. Then Laurent, eyes gleaming with questions. Carlyle turned them away. But then, the Volturi came. "This is impossible," Aro said the moment he saw Bella. He didn't need to touch her. "But it is. How can it be?" Bella stood firm, not because she wasn't afraid, but because she had grown used to living among creatures who could kill her, and yet adored her. "You want to study me?" she asked. "No, I want to possess you." That was the breaking point. Aro offered deals, invitations, then threats. The Cullens said no, again and again. Bella hid. They changed cities, names, lived decades in motion. But the story of the eternal human became legend. Over the years, Bella began to see centuries like seasons. Humanity moved on. Her parents died, then Charlie, then Renee. She cried, but didn't age, didn't break, didn't heal. She stayed the same. One afternoon, Edward found her sitting alone at a cafe in Berlin, watching couples in the early years of love. "Do you regret it?" he asked. Bella took her time. "It hurts to remember everything I can't forget. But no, I don't regret still seeing you." Edward took her hand, cold in his. "And if your blood draws every monster in the world, then you'll have to keep fighting for me," she said with a half smile. But that night, when they returned home, they found it empty. Bella was gone. On the table, only a note. "I can't keep running forever. If this is my curse, I have to understand it on my own." And in a second, Edward felt what he hadn't felt since he first met her. Panic. Because the world knew Bella Swan's name, and if she fell into the wrong hands, they could do worse than kill her. The first weeks after her disappearance were a whirlwind. Edward moved through cities like a sigh, leaving behind trails of wind and sorrow. Alice, powerless, could only see shadows. Bella, being neither vampire nor exactly human, slipped through her visions like the reflection of a dream in stirred water. There was no way to track her, because Bella didn't want to be found. She was in Istanbul when they located her. Not by traces, not by footprints, but by a whisper, a story repeated among ancient creatures. The eternal was here. In an underground library, Bella spoke with a woman of grayish skin and opalescent eyes. A librarian from the time of Alexander, turned into a vampire by an emperor's whim, and now a witness to secrets the centuries forgot. "Your existence is no accident," said the ancient woman. "There are old references to the Aeoni, those who walk outside the cycle. They were human, eternal, one per era, one per civilization." Bella listened, learned, traveled. For the first time, she wasn't a fugitive. She was a seeker. She learned dead languages, studied lost rites, visited crypts beneath Tuscany and unmapped deserts. In each place, she found scattered pieces, an echo, a pattern, her own. She wasn't an aberration. She was the legacy of something even the Volturi couldn't control, and that was what terrified them. When she returned, 5 years had passed. 5 years for her, unmoving. 5 years for Edward, eternal. She appeared at the threshold of the new Cullen home in Canada on a night of bluish snow. Edward stepped outside before she even touched the door. He didn't say her name. He didn't shout. He simply hugged her. Tightly. Slowly. Like someone afraid it's all a mirage. "I knew you'd come back," he finally said. Bella smiled at him, with the same lips, the same eyes. Only her soul had changed. "I'm not just what happened to me, Edward. I'm what I choose to do with it. And I've decided to live. Without fear, without running." The proposal came weeks later, a messenger from Aro, this time not with threats, with a request. Bella had become so legendary that she'd sparked interest. The idea, a treaty. Her lineage would not be hunted or replicated if she agreed to a private meeting with Aro. A conversation, a gesture of peace. The Cullens debated. Alice was skeptical. Rosalie was furious. Jasper distrusted it. But it was Bella who answered. "I'll see him, but on my terms." Volterra, stone halls, the echo of centuries. Bella walked with steady steps, no armor, no guards, no poison. And Aro greeted her with a trembling smile. "They've made you a myth," he said, "and you've accepted it." "No, I've accepted myself, without fear of you." Aro stepped closer. He wanted to touch her, to know. She extended her arm, but when he took her hand, he saw nothing. Nothing. Emptiness, silence, white, shapeless light. Aro withdrew, as if he had touched the sun. "What are you?" Bella looked at him. "What you cannot possess, what you cannot turn, and what you don't need to destroy if you have any wisdom." She left Volterra alive, unharmed, untouchable. For the first time, the Volturi backed down, because some miracles are not understood, they are respected. Back home, Edward waited for her at the edge of the forest. "And now," he asked, "now I live." "With me?" Bella approached. She placed her hand over Edward's unmoving chest. "You are my eternity, even if I keep beating, even if you don't." He closed his eyes. "Do you know what makes me happiest about having you back?" "What?" "That you finally understand how much you're worth. And that makes you even more immortal." That night, the snow fell in silence. And in the midst of a world that kept changing around them, a human who wouldn't die and a vampire who didn't breathe held each other. Not as two impossible halves, but as two eternities that, against all odds, chose each other.